In this video, I'm going to show you my Audacity macros I use when exporting scripture recordings. So let's get started. So we're completely done. We've proofed this and everybody's happy with the volume, the sound, that wasn't clipping anything. We made the corrections up here, we deleted this, and then we remastered it. And so now I'm ready to export. I'm ready to export the original here, the dry up here. So we want to export that separately. We want to export the master, and we want to export the labels. And we can do that all real simple by just clicking a macro here. And I just exported the waves. Now I exported the FLAC, and now I'm ready to export the label, and I do have to hit save to it, and it's done. I just exported all three of those in their proper places. So I'm going to show you how I go through that for each one of those, and I've made it into 3 macros, which I joined together with a macro inside a macro. They're really simple macros, but the thing that's important that the order of these tracks, if you change the order of these tracks, it won't work correctly. And so it's going to mess up. So you have to keep everything in this order if you're going to use these macros here. So I'm going to go to Tools, Macros, and I'm going to export original. So what I have, and I have these in the notes down below, and you can download these also. So I'm going to fit to width. So some reason we're zoomed in, it's going to fit to width. I like doing that, and I'll do that on all of them. I mute all tracks because I don't want all the tracks in here. Then I move the focus to the first track. So I move the focus, see how it's yellow highlighted? And then I solo, I basically solo that track. So everything else is muted. Okay, this can't be muted. And this is soloed. And then I export a wave. And I like FLACs, but I do this for a reason, because when it exports it, Audacity will take it and put it all into one folder. So I'll show you my routine, but it will put all the exports into here. So I have my FLAC, which is my my master, and my waves are my originals. So this is how I can separate them out, and I'll put them into the proper folders here in the original waves and the master FLACs here. So that's why I do them separately. So that's a real simple macro. And you can do this manually, but it's nice to use macros because it's going to do it quickly. It's not going to make mistakes. And it's just, yeah, you're not going to make mistakes. And so that's where I like doing those. So the next one, I'm going to export this guy right here. So I'm going to go here and export the master. And so what it does is it fits to width. I like that. It mutes all tracks. Then you can do this several ways. I just did it this way. I focus on the first track, then I move the focus to the next track. So that's how I get to here. And then I solo this track. So he's the only guy on, and then I export a FLAC. Now I want to do the labels. So this is like the simplest macro. Labels, I fit to width, and then export labels. Now, this is the difficult part. If you go into here and you try to find export label, you cannot find it. It's no longer in the list here. So you look along and it's not available. So how do you do it? So this is what I did. I knew it was available before, so I take it and I export this right here, and I'm not going to have this, but I'm going to export it. And I'm going to export labels. Yes, I'm going to overwrite the one I had. So this is what I had in it, the export label, and it says fit in window. And I just remembered what it was from before. Export labels with the X. And now I'm going to take this and save it. You can download this so you don't have to do the monkey business of bringing it out. So now let's take this guy and let's take him and delete him because he was not in there. And it's going to ask us to save. Yes. And then I'm going to import from here the export label. Remember, I added the add the label, and it's here, and now it works. So a little trick, a little workaround. I don't know if it's a bug, it's just not in the list. Now the next thing is to bring it all together, all three of these. So we're going to make a macro and a macro. So I have them separate because sometimes you might want to export the original only, or you might want to export the master only, or just the labels. But it's just really easy to make them separate. And then if you need to make adjustments, you can just make it on that instead of all of them. So I come here and I have export original master labels. And like I said, it's in the notes so you can read a little bit easier if you can't see it here. I'm basically going to run the export original macro, then the export master macro, then export label. Then I increase the volume. Remember before when I made the master, I decreased the volume? Well, now I'm kind of setting everything back because if I'm exporting all this stuff, most likely I'm done with the project and I just want everything kind of set back. Then I unmute all tracks in case this was this was muted from before. I unmute all of them and then I'm ready to go. So I have my shortcuts, so I can just do it again. It's going to overwrite those files. So just as quick, this is a project here. And then I say, yes, I'm going to overwrite that, and I'm done. So this is just an easy way to not make mistakes and be able to export these. And now I'm pretty much done with this project, except for post-producing it, making the, putting the metadata and making them into MP3s. If you found any value in this video, please like, subscribe, and share so YouTube will recommend it to others.